Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. So Alpha 320 is on its way, and today I would like to talk about some of the new 320 features that you probably don't know about. As always, a huge thank you to all of my patrons and channel members. Thank you so much for the support, it is truly appreciated, and if you do enjoy my videos, please do consider subscribing and helping the channel to grow. So Alpha 320 is just around the corner. It is now with Wave 1 and Wave 2 testers, so let us check out what features this patch has to offer, but these are not going to be the highlighted features on the roadmap release view, more the smaller details that I have noticed since playing. But that said, this might not be all of the smaller features, so if there is anything that you have noticed that is new with Alpha 320, do drop a comment below and let me know. So right off the bat, one small but much needed addition is the ability to crouch move at different speeds. Now, for a while, we have had the Tarkov-style stood-up movement slider, using the mouse scroll wheel to go from running to a very slow walk and everything in between. And now in 320, the same applies for crouching. Although the range of speeds are not as vast as that of standing, it still offers a nice new movement option when crouching to be more stealthy. And as the AI are getting their audio and visual perceptions updated, I suspect this will have a larger part to play, of course once they get the servers sorted so that the AI are more responsive. I also expect to see the crouching animation get updated at some point, as it does look a little old and outdated right now, so hopefully all of this work will come together and get polished. Now, one new big quality of life update which is not on the release viewer are the new social options that allows players to disable friend requests or associated notifications for friends, party invites, and currency transfers. Now, although I'm not sure if this means we can limit who sends us cash and party invites, or if it is just to nullify the notifications that we receive, but being able to disable the friend request will be helpful, and likely part of the edge case cleanup for when ship trespassing comes along. So as I say, a great quality of life update there, which was somewhat snuck into the 320 build. Next up, we have a much more impactful update than I first realised, which is the AI ship difficulty rebalance. Now, you may have heard about this, as it did mention in the patch notes that this change affects bounty and assassination ship combat missions, basically throwing in almost all of the current flyable ships to those missions for the NPCs to use, meaning you won't just be coming up against the same few ships every time as we do now, but instead almost any ship that is flyable in-game could be your target, which will scale in difficulty balanced via an internal testing tool that pits every ship against each other 1,000 times. But as mentioned, this change is actually bigger than just that, as it looks like the potential spawnable ship pool update has applied across all missions. Now, although I can't confirm every mission just yet, I can confirm that this change does apply to the salvaging contracts, and instead of the same non-gold standard ships being the only ones available every time, they have now got so many other ships available for these missions, and some of them are gold standard, which means that we can take and sell the weapons and internal components. Now, what this means, especially for salvagers or scavengers like myself, the game world will begin to populate with wrecks of all ship types, offering a much wider variety of potential loot and salvage, and that is great news, as I say, for people like me, who just like to scour various locations in my Vulture looking for whatever I can find. So also for Alpha 320, there is the improved mantling and vaulting updates, which again is not on the release viewer, but you might have heard about. And yes, with this quality of life update, you can now jump onto the side of the Cutlass. I have yet to try it for a, say, half-deployed cargo hold door, or anywhere else for that matter, aside from leaping from the Starfarer balcony, clearing about 6 SEU cargo boxes stacked to the roof almost. But these updates are still in need of a bit of refinement, but ultimately expand on the player's ability to traversal, opening up the potential for better exploration and choice when navigating environments, as well as providing much more option for mission designers, as they now know that we can jump and mantle and vault much more freely, which will be great for a lot of these derelicts that we find lying around, being able to actually reach the doorways. Now, this is actually one of many player animation and ability updates coming to the persistent universe, as much of this work has been ongoing for Squadron 42 for some time now, so it is great to finally see some of this start rolling out to the PU, and I feel from now on we're going to see quite a lot of consistency with these animations and abilities rolling out with each patch. The next feature is regarding the cargo grids and how they have been updated to accommodate the new standard cargo unit box sizes for 320, as well as the ability for the cargo to automatically, for use of a better word, Tetris itself appropriately for the available space you have in your hold. But one thing that it also mentioned is it also applies to non-cargo box items. So this, I presume, means ship weapons, components that you have looted, putting them on the cargo grid, which should hold them in place better instead of having them bouncing around inside. Now, I have been trying to test this, and each time I've done it, they have sat very still, but I don't know if that's just because I was on a good server or because this tech is actually working. But if this is the case, then scavenging items of any kind or any item you find, if you put that on your cargo grid, it should just stay there rather than bouncing around, which in 3.19.1 is one of the most irritating things I find when I'm scavenging. Having all of these components and weapons just jittering around inside, and I spend hours just trying to keep them all together. So if this is the case, which so far it seems to be, that is a big win in my eyes. Now, another update that I was told about on stream, thank you Flood, was how the new sandy caves have been hooked into the mission system, offering these new caves as locations for missing person missions and, I believe, bounty hunting missions as well. Now, although this might not be a big deal for most people, aside from it being just nice to find them in a different location and explore the caves, one big win is that they also take you to the cave where a very rare new mineable called Janelite can be found. Now, this is very rare, and I think only one cave may hold it, but this mineral is worth 20,000 plus Alpha UEC per piece. So great to see these locations getting hooked into the mission system, and I know Arirath will certainly take some time helping to find these missing people, and maybe some Janelite. And finally, one small addition for 320 is improvements to the illusion of speed and motion. Now, there are a couple of small alterations that I've noticed, like more space dust, which might not be realistic, but helps to give the impression of motion and speed, but also a more visual representation of acceleration and deacceleration when using the boost or space brakes. Now, this is done somewhat by violently shaking the camera for a duration, which I have to say actually comes across way better than it sounds. I do like this, as it does give a strong sense of movement that is important to put across in your ships and personally does add to the overall flight experience. But there you have it. That is currently all of the lesser known features that I have noticed coming in with Alpha 320. As I say, if there are any that I have missed off that you know are unique to 320, so nothing that's come from before, do let me know in the comments below, and I will look to put a separate video out at a later date if there is enough to collect. But with that said, please do consider subscribing if you do enjoy my videos, and come and hang out over at twitch.tv/supermacbrother. We are testing all things 320 at the moment. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind, it does the channel a big favour, and tick that notification bell if you would like to be notified when my videos go live. Again, a huge thank you to my patrons and channel members. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.